You know, feminists have a responsibility, just like any other belief system. Its adherents and promoters have to explain why they believe what they believe. So wherever you encounter feminism in your personal life, maybe at school, online, this is a belief system that they have the responsibility to defend, just like any other belief system. Feminists have to answer the question, why? What overwhelming reason is there for a movement to just look after one half of the population in the year 2014? They would have to have a very convincing answer to that question. We're at the point where not many people regard themselves as feminist, and feminists are actually on the defensive these days, having to prove that their ideology is fair-minded and contains merit. So we need to make them defend what they say their organization does, which is to help men and women achieve equality. When you encounter these feminists, you ask them in what ways they're helping men, because many of us know issues men and boys are facing. So it'd be very easy to ask them what specific problems now and organized feminism is helping men with. I don't actually, organized feminism has up to this point fought fathers groups and men's rights groups, now opposes shared parenting vehemently. In that sense, they're not for equality. They're not for fathers or men. Feminists, how can you defend this? For MRAs that are asking, why shouldn't we have our own movement because feminists aren't taking care of us? We certainly have the right to have our own movement. Feminists don't have the moral ground to oppose us because we're only trying to achieve our own, solve our own problems. So when feminists tell us that we don't need to exist and feminism is going to take care of all men and boys' problems, we're asking you what problems you are helping to help, trying to help as far as men and boys, and what you plan to continue. Why do you oppose the men's human rights movement? I think it's only fair for ordinary people when they are faced with feminism to ask them to defend it. And for many of us who know what feminism in action is doing to the world and men and boys, many of us are very tempted to ridicule it. I will ridicule it just by exposing it for what it's doing and what it stands for. That's my way of ridiculing it. The proponents of feminism, if they're around me, nearby me, I will ask them these questions and I will demand that they defend their ideology because I know what the facts are. They don't stand for equality. In many ways, they stand for special rights for women. They certainly are trying to keep reproductive rights for women, but they don't realize that men don't have reproductive rights. And they actually oppose reproductive rights for men because that would leave them with little choice or less choice if men had some choice. Out there in the world, oppose feminism, expect it to explain itself. And if it doesn't explain itself to your satisfaction, then it's a failure. Part of the problem is we've had feminism with us for so many years that it's definitely entrenched in our culture. It's wherever we turn. I don't know about you, but my town, my local town, has a division of women's services. I've gone to a few of the conferences and expos, and my point is this: why on earth do we need a division of women's services? Is there such an overwhelming problem that women have? Structurally, overwhelming problem. Not a little problem. Are they missing out in some small way on this or that? Because if that was true, that's normal life. All people, all groups are different in many ways. But to have a special governmental entities to take care of some sort of overwhelming problem, that would entail a division of women's services. My plan is to go to one of these things. There's one coming up, actually. And my plan is to get up. It's an all-day thing. Of course, they have workshops. And the workshops are benefits of healthy eating, making extra income, stress and time management, and spirituality. These are workshops at the women's conference. And you know what they're calling this conference? Women empowering women. First of all, it's not women empowering women. It's men and women empowering women. This is paid for by tax dollars. But this is not needed, okay? My point would be this. I would like to go there. I'm sure whoever's there, I'm sure there are men there. They might even have men as vendors. I don't know. I would have a big problem if they didn't allow men as vendors, because I don't see any gigantic discrimination against women from being vendors, selling things in this economy. I believe women actually own more small businesses than men. So there is no structural problem or barrier for women or girls being empowered or going into business. Okay? My point would be this. I would raise my hand at this conference if I didn't see anything else really crazy. At the end, I would say, these workshops are really very good. They're very informative. But one thing they are not needed. This is not needed. We don't need to specify a certain sex with certain genitals, that they need these special groups, conferences. It's not needed. It's good. But when you start picking certain groups that are going to get special treatment, special services, this is where it's wrong. This is a type of bigotry. Why don't we have people empowering people? Thank you.